What is your name and how do you spell it?
Shana Rosenberg, Shanarosenberg.
When did you start ThreadUp?
It got started in February of 2021. Then we became an incorporated nonprofit in August of 2021. So that's when you could say that we really got started as a business.
When did you move to this space?
We moved in late July and then took technical possession on August 1st. But we started to get set up as soon as we were able to unlock the door.
How did you become interested in reusing textiles?
That's a complicated question. So there's several things at work. One is that I grew up with a lot of fabric and textile arts and costuming and crocheting. Just my mom did that with me. We had family friends that did that kind of thing. One of those family friends is actually a Broadway costumer, and so as a kid, I was able to see some of that actually on Broadway and behind the scenes. The other thing is I really like to do local community-based work. I've volunteered for different things in the community for a while now, and so what I wanted to do was address textile waste in a local community way. I wanted for the local community to know that they could solve the textile waste problem, at least here locally.
Yeah, and how did you see that problem here in the Oxford community?
I mean, that problem exists everywhere, but especially with college students. Every single, twice a year really, in December and in May, when college students graduate and move out, or if it's just at the end of a semester and they happen to be taking stuff home, maybe they're moving to a new apartment in the fall. There's just a lot of waste left behind. Dumpsters just full of what looks to be fine fabrics. Plus, our nonprofit actually takes care of fabrics of any quality. So it just feels like there isn't an effort to conserve textiles, which actually have very long life because fabric is a really strong product. That's why it takes a long time to decompose in the landfill. So, yeah, I do see that college students actually contribute a lot to the waste. But also there are many other people just don't take their clothes very seriously any longer. Back in the olden days, fabric was incredibly expensive. There weren't sewing machines, so it took like a lot of effort to make quality clothing. I guess I'm talking about like in the 1800s, but it's just a wildly 180 difference from that time. People buy these clothes for like $5 new on clearance somewhere or off of Shein's website or whatever, and they just don't feel like there's any worth to it, and so they don't see ways to conserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you speak a little bit to how you think college students are doing today at reusing the textiles?
I think that it's getting better, but I do have to admit a lot of the students that I talk to are in the fashion design department, or they're in social impact classes, or so I happen to talk to students that do have a big interest in sustainability and the environment. So I do actually see a lot of thrifting for secondhand clothes. I do see them figuring out better how to donate things like bedding to places that will conserve it. But I do feel like the average